Okay, our next up on deck here is the president of TRD, and that is David Wilson, and representing the Thorson family, Allison Thorson. Thank you for joining us. We'll start with you, David. Congratulations on taking home the driver championship for Toyota. Maybe just talk about your season, and obviously we have several other opportunities for you to win a championship this weekend as well.
Well, I started off the week with the saying that you can't win if you don't play, and today we had three really great shots. It was a very exciting race. It was not easy, but we couldn't be prouder to be up here with the Thorson family. You hear about these couples that get divorced and then remarried again. It's a reunion story, and all kidding aside, we are so good together, and we are so grateful to have this amazing family representing Toyota in the Truck Series. Congratulations, Allison. Congratulations, Duke and Rhonda.
Allison, for you, obviously a long, successful history in the longest history in the Truck Series as far as teams go. What does this championship mean to you? I know your family has won several of them at this point.
Happy to be here, just in general. But I think going off of what he said is kudos to my family, Duke and Rhonda Thorson, and I would say our extended family, our race team, Thorsport Racing. We had 4 entries that we field in every race this season, if not more. And again, with our partnership with Toyota manufacturer, the equipment, the communication is second to none. And that really meshes well with our race team in general. It's a 365, 7 days a week program. It's something that we live for. We wake up thinking about it, and we go to bed, sleeping on what we just learned today and how we can get better the next day. And I would say that's the same for Ben, who won the championship tonight. Our first owners championship and drivers championship, which is huge. We're the longest running Truck Series team, so it's something that we've definitely had in the back of our minds for a really, really, really long time. And to finally accomplish that is very special. And we couldn't do it without a lot of special folks involved, like Toyota and like our team. And kudos to my parents. It starts at the top and it works its way down. And everybody's heard and everybody's talents are brought to the surface. And I think that's what completed our mission tonight.
Excellent. Thank you, David. Thank you, Allison. If you have questions for either of them, please raise your hand. We'll get you a mic. And we'll start up here with Jordan, Jeff, and we'll go in the corner.
Jordan Bianchi, The Athletic. This question's for David. It's not about the Truck Series. It's about the next-gen car. Last time we've talked publicly about this, you voiced some concerns about this. There's been numerous changes that have been done to this car, the clips, the steering, et cetera, et cetera. Where are you at right now on the car, and where you're comfortable and where it's headed and the progress you've seen so far?
Jordan, we've still got, as an industry, more work to do. But the good news is, we've identified, I think, the key areas that we need to solve for, and there's a lot of competent people working on it, and we're going to keep moving forward. That's the only choice we have. But again, tonight is really about Ben Rhodes and Thorsport, and celebrating Toyota's 12th manufacturer championship, 9th driver championship. And seeing off this current generation Tundra next year, as we unveiled in Las Vegas a few weeks ago. Next year is the 2022 Tundra TRD Pro, and can't wait to get that back on track and hopefully put it in competition for another championship.
Go to Jeff.
Hey, Allison, Jeff Gluck from The Athletic. Obviously, Ben has been there for a while now, and he's had ups and downs, and he's steadily sort of matured. What areas of improvement have you seen him make that has allowed him to come into championship form now?
Even in Victory Lane tonight, I heard a lot of our crew members And again, you know, just like Ben's been there for a while, and like other drivers, I would say in our barn, I'm a horse girl, so it's all horsepower stuff. But we have a lot of crew members too that have been there for a while. And a common message between some of the guys tonight is he's really matured well. And I think that's for a lot of drivers. I feel like when any kind of driver stops learning or stops growing, no matter how many years they've been in a series or gone into different series, the minute you stop learning and growing is the minute you stop doing well or expanding. So I think Ben came to us with one goal in mind. We have another driver that I could speak of, Matt, that Crafton, that's with us. They're happy with where they're at, and those who stay will be champions. That's kind of our motto. And Ben is very content. He's one of those guys that we see in Ohio every single week. He'll be there the following Monday. He has friendships with any guy on the team, as well as, you know, around. So I think the patience and consistency, when you're patient, consistent, and open-minded, that's a dangerous combination for success. And I think that's what we're seeing here with Ben. I mean, he won the first 2 races this year, which is incredible. And I know mentality, like in a lot of sports, once you have that mentality, it's hard to stop that momentum. And so he got that momentum this year, and the sky's the limit. And so here we are, mission completed, and I think he still will continue growing. He's a fantastic driver. You can see how smart he is. Like tonight, you know, I feel like he might have wanted to race a little harder, but then he's kind of like, oh, wait, you know, I don't need to take this out. You know, it's right there at his fingertips. So he did a great job.
Go in the corner, Davey.
Davey Siegel with Front Stretch. Congratulations, guys. This could go to either of you, but I mean, it was only a couple weeks before Daytona when your guys' partnership was officially announced. I'm sure at that point, I don't know if you guys had imagined sitting here as champions, but you can correct me if I'm wrong. Do you guys think that this is a realistic possibility when the season began?
I'll take the first swing at that if it's okay, Allison. What I'll share with you is as soon as we parted ways, I think both of us wished we were back together, and we worked a long time to get the family back together. You know, and you know, all kidding aside, you know, circumstances, you know, are such that sometimes these things happen. But I couldn't be, you know, prouder to sit here tonight with that family. And let me be clear, we went after Thorsford. We wanted them back in our family because we were off a step without them. We really struggled last year. And I told my team, this is unacceptable. We're better than this. We love this series, and it's emotional to us because this is the way we came into our sport back in 2004, 18 years ago, and I'm guilty of, I think, taking for granted a little bit of our success along the way. So when that stopped happening, we knew one way to get us back in the right direction. That's with reestablishing a wonderful partnership.
Yeah, of course.
To add to it from an owner's perspective, I'm with my family a lot too. And like anything, you're going to have good relationships and bad relationships. The greatness of our relationship has never changed, even when we parted ways for a little bit. If a Toyota truck won one night, if we won in another manufacturing vehicle, there was always that continued communication and good sportsmanship. And so when you have 2 hungry players wanting to win, it kind of just brought us all back together.
Any other questions for? Okay, we'll go back to stay in the back, and then we'll go up to Bob.
Jonathan Field with the RacingExperts.com. I just want to ask, the 98 ride, of course, next season grants going to GMS. Can you speak to what that's going to look like for next season?
I'm sure, like a lot of other race teams, there's just a lot of unknown right now. We'll definitely share every truck entry and what we have coming. There's a lot of things in the works, but like anything in racing, especially right now. We're definitely planning for next year. That's already been in the works, like a lot of teams, and I know David can speak on that behalf. But nothing to share just yet on entries in our full truck schedule and team.
And for David, I just want to bring up a stat. You know, last season 7 wins for Toyota in the Truck Series. This season 15. What do you think? What is, I guess, like changed within Toyota? Whether it be like to bringing on ThorSport, what has changed?
Well, the biggest change, obviously, is having the ThorSport family back in the Toyota family. You know, one of the things that you learn over years is, you know, you're going to have teams that struggle on occasion, and it's nice to have, you know, a couple of strong teams to support each other. One of the underlying tenets and principles that we focus on is having teams that work well together. And we, you know, from the first year we came into the sport, you know, people looked at us cross-eyed. You want us to work together, but we're not on the same team. Well, that's, you know, we knew that we're stronger as a family than we are individually. So, you know, again, having the ThorSport family and those 4 extremely talented drivers back, you know, with Toyota made us stronger completely. It made KBM stronger. You know, the other really important thing is if you have a benchmark out there, you know what the potential is. You may not be the strongest one day, but you see your fellow Toyota, you know, running up front. You know it's possible. So it all kind of ties together.
Bob, and then go get Kelly and Daniel.
Bob Hocker, Fox Sports, one for each. First, David, KBM hasn't announced anything yet, but I assume you want Chandler Smith to stay there.
Yes, we would like Chandler Smith to stay there, and I probably can't comment on it because, as Allison, it's only November, right? It's not even January, you know. This is the Truck Series, you know, right? Things happen a little bit late, but you know, I'm awful proud of Chandler. You know, he's part of our driver development program. We've invested a lot of time into that young man, and we know he has the raw talent. You know, Allison talked about the development of Ben Rhodes. Ben has never suffered from lack of speed or aggression. It's putting all of that together, and you know, we see a little bit of that with Chandler, and tonight was so important for his confidence level. So certainly we hope he's back racing in the 18 KBM Tundra next year as well.
And Allison, Ben was telling me how this group is kind of like the last ones put together, a kind of a chip on their shoulder that they were the ones nobody wanted. Did you get that sense, and do you think that motivated them at all this year?
I actually remember it just like yesterday. Kind of how he spoke about earlier, how we announced we were with Toyota weeks before the season. It was kind of same thing putting teams together too. On the race team, you've got a lot of personalities that can do great things, but with great personalities, you're going to have sometimes it doesn't all mold together how people think it's going to be. Yet, you know, sometimes I think like my dad would do is let's see it play out. Let's actually do something about it. I say you could say that in the beginning for Ben, but I think he looks any challenge in the eye and will not even blink about it, you know. And I think that mentality with his crew chief Rich, they assembled a team that's kind of came out on top, obviously, you know, stronger than everybody else because they had that mentality where they're going to look a challenge in the eye and meet that same goal. Because, again, talking about working with KBM, ThorSport, anything in the same manufacturer, likewise in a team. I mean, I know there's other Cup Series teams that you have pods and things like that, and it's a constant, let's revisit this again and get everybody to work together. It's never a close the door and we're done with that task forever. So I think it didn't take long for anybody to mesh. And of course, at the beginning of the season, there's always crew members that are mixed around here and there that want to try something new. And I definitely think they put it well together the whole year. I mean, they started out very strong and they ended strong. So that just shows for anybody that has doubt that it is possible.
Kelly?
Kelly, CrandallRacer.com. David, I apologize if you addressed this at the start, but you clinched the Manufacturers Championship. You have the race-winning driver and Rookie of the Year. You have the champion driver and the champion owner champion. Have you ever had a more successful day at the racetrack?
Well, you can't do much better than that, I don't think. We won the race. I think we finished 1, 2, 3.
What about the stages?
We won. We swept the stages. Right. So, but it was hard. And there with about 40 to go, when the 21 passed Ben, we were all kind of holding our breath. And how about John Hunter Nemechek? Feel terrible for that young man because he had a rocket ship underneath him, but just didn't have enough laps. So it was a good day, Kelly. It was a great day. It was a great year.
Daniel?
Dylan McFadden, FrontStretch.com. David, on the Xfinity side today, one of your teams in Championship 4 had a little bit of a speed bump in Texas with its hauler. How abreast were you kept of that situation, and what were your concerns about Hamrick not having his car here in time, and what kind of plans were maybe in place if it didn't get here in time?
Yeah, well, ultimately, my guys were in touch with the team the entire time. I understand that somewhere in Texas they hit a deer carcass and derailed them, and unfortunately, because the team stayed a little bit later in the shop to work until the last hour to get every bit of performance onto that, the 19 Camry, they got separated from the pack. So that, perhaps is a lesson learned. But, ultimately they did what they needed to do and worked together with the ARCA series to leverage some of that equipment, and Daniel's going to be just fine. So you put it in your rearview mirror and focus forward.
Any final questions for David or Allison? All right. Well, congratulations on an outstanding night and outstanding season. Thanks for the time, guys. And now we will welcome Rich Lucius to the stage. All right, we are now joined by our championship-winning crew chief, and that is Rich Lucius. Rich, you want to just kind of take us through the night from your perspective on top of the box?
I think the race took a lot of different turns. Obviously, like David was saying a little bit ago, when the 21 got to us and got by us, we were a little worried, but we knew we were a little bit lower on air pressure and knew he was a little bit better on short runs, but we were better on long runs. So I thought there was a chance for us to catch him, and then when we started cutting into the deficit there, just giving him lap times and letting him know that we could get him, and guess we did.
All right, if you have a question for Rich, please raise your hand. We'll get your mic. We'll start with Kelly.
Kelly, CrandallRacer.com. Rich, Ben told me earlier this year after you two won the first 2 races that when you two got together, one of your messages to him was you wanted to use this year to make a statement to show everybody what you can do and what you're about. Mission accomplished?
I would say so. Ben's done a great job all year too, but kind of like they were talking before, this deal came together really late. Basically it was end of January before we even knew for sure that we were going to be together. And then we got together, we wanted to make a statement that I want to make a statement that I belong in a series, and I feel like we have, and I couldn't be more grateful for it.
Any more questions for Rich? Go to Jeff, Justin, then Bob. Or Jeff, Bob, and then Justin. Just keep it card golf.
Hey, Rich, Jeff Gluck from The Athletic. What's been the biggest key, do you think, to Ben maturing and improving? Like, how has he been able to be successful and become a champion that way?
I think it's the group of guys we surrounded him with this year. Before in the past, I feel like the group of guys he had was pushing him to drive every lap like it was a qualifying lap, and then maybe not see the big picture. And all year long, we preached about getting to the end of races and not putting ourselves in bad situations. Even like at Martinsville, we went in with a pretty good cushion, and we were just trying to not make anyone mad and trying to get some stage points and get out of there. And I think it just showed how much he's gained maturity this year, and it just shows by winning this championship and the races we won, but not even the races that we won, just all season. Like when we had a 5th place car or a truck, we'd finish 5th. If we had a 10th place, we'd finish 10th and work on it. And I think this is the first time in his career that he's actually done that. Before, if he tried to take a 10th place truck to 8th, and then he'd be in the wall or DNF. I think we're the only truck series or team this year that didn't have a DNF.
Go to Bob.
Bob Parkhurst, Fox Sports. Following up on that, is that something that you can tell him, okay, be patient, or is that just something he had to learn on his own?
A little bit of both. I preached to him the whole time about patience and about when we can go, when we should push and when we shouldn't push. And I can remember a couple incidents last week when we were like underneath Johnny for on the restart, and we weren't racing him. And I think between TJ Bell on the roof and myself, I think we've done a pretty good job this year of keeping him calm all race long, and I think it shows. Hey, did you pick us?
No.
Thank you.
Justin.
Justin Schuler kicking the tires. I'll follow up on that, I guess, because we talked with Matt Crafton earlier tonight and yesterday, and he said kind of the biggest thing that rookies need to do is listen. And when he came in here tonight, he said that Ben Rhodes won because he listened. So you've worked with him directly, obviously. So would you say that that's kind of aided him throughout the past years of his growth?
Yeah, I believe so. I think this is his best season, by far, just because he's listened more and he trusts the people around him. That's the biggest thing. I don't think maybe in the past that, like I said before, I don't think he had a really good group of guys around him that were all pulling the rope the same direction. And I can't be prouder of my team that we assembled.
What's that like to have someone like Matt Crafton, who has won multiple championships in the trucks, be kind of Ben's right-hand guy to kind of help guide him through?
Yeah, Ben's really good. Matt's really good about being able to go to him and ask for advice. Like we were even talking about qualifying tonight, whether or not we should cut the apron or not. And Matt's always there. Matt's always there for all the young drivers. I think he does a really good job. And same deal with Junior. I can always go to Junior any time of the day and ask him questions. And I think having teammates like that really helped us this year.
Any final questions for Rich? Yes. Go here and then to Jonathan.
Congratulations. Cole Cusimano with News from the Pits. I'm curious, what can you say about Ben's character? Because it feels like through the entire season, the ups, the very few downs, and the in-betweens, like he's always kept that very upbeat demeanor,
Yeah, we get along really well. And I just feel like that we're on the same wavelength on a lot of things. But yeah, like you said, he's been on the same wavelength all year long. And it just seems like that no matter what happens, he just faces it and figures out a way to make it better. And we've had some bad races this year, and even when we had those bad races, we'd talk about it on Monday and figure out a game plan, how to make it better. And I think each week we've improved.
Jonathan.
Hey, Jonathan Field with the Racing Experts. There's been a lack of practice, lack of qualifying this season. What ways have you worked with Ben just to make the cars or make the trucks better and develop that relationship with him?
We've had a pretty good relationship since 2017, but obviously this season, the first time working together, we've watched a lot of film and we've been doing a lot of simulation time with TRD, and just spent a lot of time together, even not necessarily talking about racing. We talk about life and what's going on, and just try to gain that chemistry, and it seems like it paid off.
Go to Davey, then Jeff.
Davey Siegel with Front Stretch. Was that you doing a shoey in Victory Lane? How was it?
It was great. So earlier this week we talked about it, and we talked about how if we won this and pulled this off, that we would do one. So I had to live up to my end of the bargain, I guess.
Oh, okay. He's clear. He's clear, Rose. Any final questions for Rich? All right. Congratulations on a great season, Rich. Thanks for the time.
It's really quiet in here, everybody. Just came from a party. Hey, Bob. And Jeff Gluck. You guys are famous.
Okay, we are now joined by our 2021 NASCAR Camping World Truck Series champion, and that is Ben Rhodes. Congratulations, Ben, on this phenomenal night and this phenomenal season. We'll get right into questions for Ben, so if you have one, please raise your hand, and we'll get you a mic. We'll start right over here.
David Swope, ESPN Radio Albuquerque. We talked yesterday at the media event. You seemed awfully zen then. Is that what kind of you're using to kind of get yourself to where you were? You seemed real patient out there. At 10 laps to go, all of a sudden, you had all of this ability to just drive up, and I thought a few more laps, you might drive all the way to the front. Talk a little bit about that evolution.
Yeah, I'm more zen now, thanks to my good friend Bud. Let me say something here. Libations are good. Championship's awesome. And this is going to be the weirdest press conference ever. You know what? Here's what I got to say. What was the question? So, okay, wait a minute. I know what the question was. It was, how did I get to, okay, so here's how this happened. My crew chief gave me this adjustment with some lower air pressures because I said, hey, this isn't going to happen. I can't win the race the way this is. They're beating me on the restarts. He pumped me up, didn't work out the second stage, took me back down. So I watched Zane Smith and all these people drive away from me. I'm freaking out on the inside because we had radio issues and I couldn't talk to them. So I'm like really angry. I was pissed. And let me say something. I got the mic so I can say it anyways. So I was pissed. And here's how this went down. I said, Zane Smith, this is checkers or wreckers. I'm going to blow the motor trying to catch you. Boom, boom, boom. And I made it up to him because he had some lap traffic, and then everybody. I thought I didn't have any tire left because I was sideways after every corner, and then wow, the mic got loud real fast. I was sideways after every corner, and you know what? I had some tire left. Those other people started slowing down. I said, "Wow, this is crazy." So I passed him. Sheldon Creed tried to get all funky with me. And I said, ain't happening, Mama Jamma. Bye-bye. Went around the outside in the resin, and I said, goodbye. And then I thought I could maybe catch the 52 if we had more laps, but I wasn't worried about it. Third place is cool with me because I had the championship. And, wow, I talked really fast there. And I said, you know what? Championship's cool. Hope I answered that question. I'm pretty zen. Thanks, my good friend Bud.
Thoughts and prayers to our transcriptionist for this one. We'll go to Bob.
My wife looks really embarrassed. Are you embarrassed? We're champions. Yeah.
Bob Pockers, Fox Sports. Like, we've been in here for the last hour talking.
I'm so glad you didn't pick me.
Yes, talking to people about your patience, and it sounds like you weren't patient.
I was patient, Bob.
All right.
Wait, don't keep going.
Were you've been talking about taking risks and everything over those last 40 laps, but were they controlled risk?
Oh, yeah. I mean, so here's the deal. I could feel the weight transfer, and I knew what we had going on for rear springs and everything we were doing for the front springs. So I said, okay, here's how I'm going to have to drive it. I was trying to keep bouncing under control, trying to, basically keep my everything loaded up that I wanted loaded up. And, I was driving to the saturation point. That's engineer speak now. I didn't know that I'm from Kentucky. Not everybody has teeth. Wait a minute. That's not a good representation of Kentucky. Everybody has teeth in Kentucky. We drink fluoride in our water. Anyways, here's the deal. I knew that I had to keep certain elements of the truck loaded up, and I had to do some quick thinking. Yes, patience. That was what she was asking. So patience. Yeah, I had patience tonight. There were certain times that the non-playoff drivers were pretty much going to wreck me, and I had to back out. Sheldon was trying to take a spot for the second stage win, and I backed out going to turn 3. It was like, what? He was third. It was third for third points. which doesn't matter. So I let him have that spot. We were racing for second. And then the 18 on a restart, I think at the end of stage 1 was pretty aggressive. I was like, all right, you can have that. The Bud is amazing tonight. So here's what I'll say. I had patience. And I also got really aggressive when I had to. It's a good night. It's a good night. We got a question in the back.
We'll stay up front to Jeff, and then we'll go to the back.
I went to this place called The Barn tonight. They gave me like a ring and stuff, but I couldn't keep it. And I asked the bartender, I said, can you make me an old fashioned? I'm from Kentucky. I like bourbon. She didn't know how to make an old fashioned. It's unfortunate. Okay, question in the back.
Hey, can I do one first?
Oh, yeah. Hey, Jeff Gluck, how's it going?
Hey, good.
Do I need water? No, I like to put the Bud. The Bud is good. Okay, I'll drink water. I was cramping earlier.
So, 6 years ago when you came down to North Carolina, with the JRM stuff, and it was like Ben Rhodes, hot prospect, and I think by now you thought you would be in the Cup Series and all this stuff. And this isn't necessarily how you thought your career was going to go, but here you are. You're still only 24 years old, Truck Series champion. From everybody, like Bob said, we talked to, you've grown on the track, you've matured. How do you view your career now at this point?
There's a lot of bubbles in this. So Dasani water, Jeff Gluck, has bubbles in it. But here's what I'll say, Jeffrey. When you're the young guy trying to come through the sport, you imagine yourself being that Cup champion at age 18, right? So you kind of set like these unrealistic goals. But I'm so happy with where I'm at. I've got look. Duke and Rhonda Thorson, I wouldn't even be racing right now if it wasn't for them. They're amazing. I owe everything really to them from anything that I have going on in the sport today. So they gave me my big break. They gave me my opportunities. I'm here today because of them. So I'm not going anywhere unless they tell me, they don't want to race anymore. Unless if ThorSport doesn't want to race or they don't have space for me, whatever, I'm racing for ThorSport. I love the team and love the environment. They've been awesome. And the way... Here's what I'm going to say. I think I've said that before, but here's what I'm going to say. ThorSport is super stable team. They've had Menards forever. Duke's amazing. He's given me so much advice. We started a paving company on the side because Duke and Rhonda, obviously they have Seal Master, and I've been seal coating and stuff just like Matt Crafton has. And I've got so much mentorship where I'm at. I love it. I couldn't ask for better people around me. So it's like a family. It's one big family in Ohio. It's just a 5-hour drive for me up the road. And I stay up in Kentucky. I'm kind of the outsider. ThorSport's the outsider. So we're like a match made in heaven. And I'm loving it. McLoving it.
Danny, you have a question?
Okay, Dale McFadden, front stretch. First off, how many have you had?
I'm a lightweight. Yeah, I'm definitely a lightweight. I had a decent amount of champagne in the champagne shower because I love champagne. That's the taste of victory. So, circling back, I had 4 real fast at the barn. I'm a lightweight. You can make fun of me. It's okay. I'll take it.
All right. So could you say, what was it like for you to do the dual burnouts with Chandler Smith on the front stretch? What was it
I didn't actually notice them because I was so encompassed in my own burnout. And here's the crazy part is that Brad Moran was talking to me. He's like, hey, man, you need to bring it back for the stage now. It's going to come out there and bring it on back. And I was like, okay. And then I started another burnout. And I was like, that's unexpected. Way to go, Ben. Do another burnout. And then he's like, oh, yeah, you really need to come back now for the stage coming out. So I stopped for a second. I think I was at the start-finish line. I was like, this might look stupid, but I'm going to do another burnout. So I started another burnout. And then the next thing I know, I didn't have tires. So I just stopped on the front stretch because I didn't have any tires left. And I was like, hey, Brad Moran, you don't have me in turn 1 and 2 anymore. I'm stuck right where I'm at. So that's kind of why the stage took place where it did, because I didn't listen to directions very well.
Thank you.
We'll go upstairs to the press box for a question.
Hey, Jerry Jordan, KickingTheTires.net. When we talked to you yesterday, you said that you couldn't wait to get in the truck and you were done with all the festivities. It seems like now you have had a lot of festivities. What's the next step for you going forward? And please stay out of the truck.
More festivities. We got a lot more festivities tonight, Jerry Jordan. Let me tell you, I'm staying at the Hampton Inn downtown. It's a free party. Everybody can come show up. I got a lot of festivities on tap. Karaoke, I feel like singing some Ice Ice Baby. It's kind of like my go-to, along with some other songs. So we'll probably find some karaoke somewhere. If not, we might just like take the TV in the lobby, throw something up on it, and start singing. That's cool with me. But yeah, there's a lot of festivities, Jerry Jordan. Apparently, I'm gonna go to the Nashville Cup Series banquet, so that's really cool. There's gonna be like some rings and like some trophies and stuff involved. Gonna go up to Sandusky probably like Monday or Tuesday. Gonna go eat some pizza and drink some margaritas. That's a good combo. Did I answer your question, Jerry Jordan?
We'll stay up in the press box.
ChristianLikeCatchFence.com. Hey, Ben, I was just wondering if you could talk about the bump and run.
Lynn told me I had to drink water. Yeah, the bump and run was awesome for me. You know, I'm sure other people don't see it that way, but here's the thing. I came up to lap traffic the first time. I got close. Everybody was starting to kind of fall back to me, but not quite yet. It wasn't to like that 10 to go mark when people started falling back to me. So I got close, and I was like, man, I started kicking myself, really mad at myself, because I was like, man, if I'm going to make a pass, I've got to use these lap cars as the advantage, because there's a huge amount on the line. The championship's on the line. And if I don't, capitalize on the next lap cars session that comes to us, then, I'm SOL. So I said, I don't want to be SOL. The next lap car session that came to me, I was like, all right, this is it. Let's be real gentle here. Let's be real gentle. Nice and easy. I gave him a little bump in 1 and 2, and he kind of went, whoop, whoop. And I went, whoop, whoop, back to the left side. And he raced me down the front stretch, but I got clear. And then when I went down into turn 3, I drove it in super deep until basically I imagined my crew chief yelling at me to stop driving in so deep. Boom, boom, and then he's gone. And I was dealing with Sheldon Creed after that. It was awesome.
We have, we'll go back to Daniel and then up front here.
Okay, then you mentioned you might be doing karaoke. What is your go-to karaoke song?
Ice Ice Baby for sure. I sung that at my wedding, but I don't remember it. And here's what I'll say. I think I've said this before, but here's what I'll say. I got a list of songs on my phone for just this thing. It's inebriated song list is how it's titled. And I got about 30 to choose from because I can't remember them when I'm in the moment. So I got to go back to my list, and I just got to say, ooh, I like Break Up in a Small Town. I like Ice Ice Baby. What's some other ones? Oh, Welcome to the Jungle. I like Welcome to the Jungle really well. That's a good one. I sung that in the Dominican once, and had like a cheeseburger and like an old fashioned. It's awesome.
Come up here.
Luis Torres, the podium finish. Speaking of Welcome to the Jungle, you were able to survive. You mentioned yesterday that consistency sometimes is going to win you the championship. You talked about how Crafton was able to do it a couple years ago. When you look back at this season, how proud are you to just prove the point that consistency got it done after just only winning the 2 Daytona races early this season?
Well, I learned it from Matt. And then he came up to me after the race and was like, hey, you finally learned. I was like, yeah, I did. Thanks for teaching. And yeah, I walked up to Duke right after that, and I was like, hey, Duke, so now that we got the Owners' Championship, are we we done racing now? Because, I know you wanted that, and that was the one thing that keeps us racing. He's like, yeah, we're done. Now he's joking. So we're going to be back next year racing for the next Drivers and Owners' Championship. I do hope. And my crew chief did a shoey tonight. It was awesome. It was my shoe, and his shoey. It's cool. We have some more questions over here.
We do. We got Zach, and then Alex, and then Justin.
Zach Sterniol with Front Stretch. Obviously, you're soaking this moment in. Did you ever allow yourself to think of what this moment would be like, and is this what you had in mind?
Yeah, the champagne's getting warm for sure. No, I did think. So here's the thing. Once Martinsville ended, I was mad because I finished 7th at Martinsville. And I was like, I didn't even race. I didn't even drive hard. I didn't even bump anybody. I got pushed around. So on the media day, I was like, you know what? I need to make sure that if any of these other drivers watch my interview, they know that I'm not gonna move out of the way for them anymore. I'm not just, a little gentle Ben. So, I believe your question was. Oh, yeah, is this moment living up to the dreams? Yeah, so here's the thing. I was dreaming about this all week. I didn't sleep a lot until I got to Phoenix, and then I woke up yesterday before the media day because I woke up at like 3 in the morning. And, of course, if, 2 o'clock rolled around, it was kind of late, at home at least, and I was like, I never take naps. I've probably taken about this many naps in my life. This many. Yesterday was the first one. I woke up at the hotel about 10 minutes before the media day. It's like, wow, I'm really relaxed. That was a good hour-long nap. And then we did questions and stuff.
Step here to Justin and then go to Alex.
Kicking the tires. Ben, first off, congratulations. We talked yesterday about you flying under the radar all season. You won the first 2 races, and then we're kind of there all year long. And you kind of said that you would use that to your advantage for this race. When we talked to Matt Crafton also yesterday, he said that the biggest problem with rookies coming into the sport is that they don't listen. But then when we talked to him tonight, he mentioned that you were the champion because you did listen. So do you feel like all of that kind of just came together for you with having someone like Matt Crafton as a guide for you?
Yeah, Matt's smart. There was a first half to your question. Matt is smart. I like Matt Crafton. He's a good teammate. Flying under the radar. Okay, yeah, so I'm not as popular as some drivers because I'm so bad at the social media. I get on there and I was like, how do you be creative? And then I get sucked into the Twitter or the Instagram and the stuff, and you're looking at other people's creativeness, and it's like, wow, y'all are so creative. And then I don't create anything because I'm just consuming. I'm just a consumer. So then I'm like, oh gosh, I probably should post because I haven't posted on my Facebook in a while. But I'm really proud of the Louisville. I got a good Louisville crowd behind me. I love my hometown, and got a good Louisville crowd. I'm a South End guy, Dixie Highway. It's kind of like the, like where the blue collar area, and yeah, good people's there. So yeah, I do fly under the radar probably on the national scene, mainly because I tell. What's your name again? Bob. Mainly because I tell Bob not to pick me on the race weekends because when he picks me, I run bad. So that's probably some of it, maybe, but probably not really any of it. So yeah, I do fly under the radar, but that's okay. Hey, got championship wings now.
And we will wrap it up with Alex right here in the center.
Whoa, hey crew chief. How's it going? I had like a lot of Bud Lights without you. You should have been there.
Alexandria with the Charlotte Observer. So we've heard a lot about this shoey. So I'm curious. What was the story behind it? Are you an F1 fan? Did it live up to expectations?
Oh yeah, yeah. You don't want to talk about it because it's nasty. But guess what? We're gonna talk about it. So I am an F1 fan. I think it's a very entertaining form of motorsport. I love all motorsports. And here's the deal: we were at the shop before Martinsville, and we were making stupid bets. And I said, okay, if we win, and I didn't even have to bet anything in return. So it was a one-sided bet, and it was awesome. Thank you. So I said, if we win, you got to do a shoey with my sweaty race shoe. And he didn't want to do it. You denied it 3 times. You denied it. And then finally, I took the shoe off and dumped a bunch of champagne in it until it was like full to the high top. It's like, all yours. And you did a waterfall, which I don't think helped anything. Okay. It was well worth it, wasn't it? Yeah. I love that guy. I love you. Yeah, thanks. Oh, it grossed me out, so I didn't do it.
Well, congratulations, Ben. Outstanding job tonight and all season long. And thank you for the entertainment in this post-race press conference
This
as
is
well.
the best conference ever.
That's right.
Bye, guys. Made a lot of new friends tonight. I consider you my close group now. Drop my towel. Okay, that's Lisa Hughes Kennedy. Lisa? Okay, thanks for being a friend.